Hey friends, Patrick here. I'm back for your weekly reading for the week of September 11th. Today, today's obviously kind of like a somber day, right? The 21st anniversary of the 9/11 attacks in Pennsylvania, New York, and Washington. So certainly a sad time. We also had Mercury go into retrograde yesterday, which can lead to certain difficulties in communication and other type of matters in general. It only lasts for a few weeks, but it's widely talked about as being a period of time when it might not be the best time to sign contracts or join new ventures or have in-depth communications with people, because things can often be misinterpreted, misunderstood, not well received, that kind of thing. So I thought for this week, let's do kind of like a little bit of a different reading, and I'll just pull just a handful of cards here. What we'll do is we'll cover what's a grudge or a limiting belief that you've been kind of holding on to, maybe recently or as a long-term thing that you've been holding on to, and then how better understanding like how is this limiting belief. How is this hindering you? Whether it's a belief, whether it's a grudge or something you've been holding on to. How is it hindering you from moving forward? And then we'll take a glimpse, we'll look for a glimpse into what life would be like if you let this go and move past it and found a way to move past it. So let's start with, what is the grudge or the limiting belief that you've been holding on to? Okay, so I'm seeing the Hierophant. Let's pull one more to understand that better, and we get the Four of Swords. Okay. How is this limiting or hindering you? Let's ask about that. The Page of Pentacles. And the World. Interesting. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, now what would life look like if you were able to let this go? If you were able to move past this? We have the Two of Wands. And we have the Devil. Okay. All right. So let's start with like what the grudge or the limiting belief is. Okay. So the limiting, so what I'm gathering from this is that it's more of a limiting belief than a grudge. So when I see the Hierophant, I think of like teachings, I think of like orthodox behaviors, right? So kind of staying within the constructs of tradition, what has been normal. So this could be, your limiting belief could be kind of sticking within your comfort zone, frankly, but it could also just be in general, thinking about like, well, this is really coming right down to your beliefs, right? Probably your beliefs and your understandings, right? When I think of like the Hierophant in this regard, I also see like religion, right? Which religion, we've all got our religious beliefs, of course, and that's certainly fair. I think this is probably, there is some belief that maybe you've had, and maybe it's not related to religion at all, but frankly, I think it's what the message here is, there's a belief that you're holding on to that just is no longer serving you, and it's not right. And it's just not allowing you to move forward. It's keeping you in a limited state. And, I think when we see the Four of Swords, this is kind of like the time to saying, like, go within and see if you can unpack and understand, like, what do you believe and why? So if you believe that, if you feel like, relationships are just not working out for you, why are they not working out for you? Do you have a belief that your body type is not, exactly what people are looking for? It might not be particularly desirable, particularly good looking. Maybe you're holding on to something about your image, about you in particular. Could also be just that dating sucks, and there are no good ways or avenues or people out there. All the good ones are taken. Could also be something. Could be completely unrelated to that. I kind of just jumped into the relationships piece because like the Hierophant can also symbolize marriage, some of the traditional, kind of like religious ceremonies like marriage. So I do feel like there's a limiting belief rather than a grudge. I don't feel like you're necessarily holding a grudge. And when I see the Four of Swords, I feel like somebody is, it's taking time out and resting. So I almost feel like that, to me, it's almost like a piece of advice. It's kind of going within, meditating, kind of getting some clarity on what that is. You've got a limiting belief, something that's holding you back. You need to go inside and understand that better. How is this particular belief hindering you? Well, I think it's stopping you from having a brand new beginning, right? It's stopping you from pursuing something that you might want to pursue, and or the messages that you're receiving, you're not actively responding to these. You're not taking them to heart and kind of taking advantage of that, and you're really leaving a lot on the table. So there's a whole world out there that you're kind of limiting yourself from due to this belief. So you're not pursuing the opportunities, you're not traveling, you're not getting the full, this is telling me there's a whole big world out there. So maybe it's kind of staying in the constructs of your comfort zone too, right? And that there's a whole big world out there. We just need to get outside of our comfort zone. And so what might life look like if you were to move past that, right? So we have, first of all, the Two of Wands. So Two of Wands, this is a great one. This is hey, the world is all in your hands. You are in control. Once you give up this limiting belief, and you're able to move past that, you've got the world in your hands, and everything is out there for you. So you can look around and see what might be available, what might be something you want to pursue, and understand better what you want and then how to get there. And so this is looking out, but it's also about making a decision, right? Making decisions and taking steps. The devil is often associated with inner demons, perhaps. So this could be releasing the inner demon and actually making a decision to move forward and pursuing something you want to do. So again, I think that this is focusing on what life might look like on the other side of that limiting belief. It's releasing. You're going to feel a great sense of release, and also just a giant relief, a huge weight off of your shoulders as you lose and then leave behind this limiting belief that's really kind of changed you to the past or kept you in a particular place, right? It's kept you, when you're chained as the devil is in this card, you are restrained and you are in a particular place. So you are in a certain area. This is saying, this to me is kind of how has this been hindering you? It's, the chains have kept you from exploring the world and kind of getting out and seeing and doing everything that you want to do, from having everything you want to have and from being everything you want to be. So, again, I think, this is what it looks like on the other side, releasing the chains and then pursuing everything the world has to offer. So I hope this has been helpful. Drop some comments down below. Just want to do a short one today, try something a little bit different. And, hopefully this resonates with you. If it does, by all means, let me know. And then, give it some thought and think about what it might mean for you in particular. And we will see you soon.